Well, the Neapolitans are very excited, let me tell you, that they have reached the last 16 of the Champions League. It is England versus Italy in the Champions League, February 2012, Part 2. For Chelsea's sake, let's hope it goes better for them than it did for Arsenal in Milan last week. Well, it's been quite a scene as the players have come out here side by side from the underground tunnel in the end to our left. We had a light show, flashing white lights in the stand on the opposite side of the ground. The obligatory flares, of course. There's a red one just being extinguished in one of the stairwells to our right. It's interesting, when we come to grounds around Europe, we usually talk about the most vociferous parts of the ground. I don't think you can do that here at the Stadio San Paolo. It's just all over. The end to our right, there are dozens of flags of varying sizes being waved. The end to our left, the Napoli crest has been spelled out in gold and blue foil, and the smoke is disappearing up through the roof of the stadium. It is a cauldron of a stadium. It's an old relic, really, in many ways. It's a concrete edifice, got a running track around it, but it's a cauldron that is absolutely bubbling here tonight. And the teams are just about ready for the start of this game, the first leg of Napoli against Chelsea in the last 16 of the Champions League. Napoli's team tonight in full. Morgan De Sanctis, the first choice goalkeeper, is back after missing the league game on Friday night. Back three central defenders of Campagnaro, Paolo Cannavaro, younger brother of the World Cup winning captain Fabio, and Salvatore Aronica on the left-hand side of that back three. Then a line of four: Maggio, Inler, Gargano and Zuniga. And then the front three that is so much talked about: Hamsik, Cavani and Lavezzi. Cavani, the 22-goal top scorer. And Chelsea, this is their team tonight. Cech, Ivanovic, Cahill, Luiz and Bosingua. Gary Cahill's debut in the Champions League, only his third appearance for Chelsea. Raul Morales, Ramirez and Malouda in the middle, with Daniel Sturridge, Juan Mata and Didier Drogba. And the tie begins with the home side, Napoli, in the pale blue shorts and the white pale blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, kicking from right to left against Chelsea in the mainly black kit with the white and blue trim. And immediately throw in to Napoli on the right hand side that is hurled into the area. Bosingua is there to head it away, comes out to the edge of the box where it's an attempt by Gargano to lift it into the penalty area, but Chelsea are able to scramble it away back into the Napoli half. So Frank Lampard only on the substitutes bench tonight. No John Terry, as we discovered in the middle of the afternoon, but no Ashley Cole either, even though he did take part in training last night. So it's quite a test for Chelsea, this. It is Lavezzi who plays it out towards the left-hand side. Zuniga is there, the Colombian with the gloves on, going one way and the other. But well blocked by Chelsea. Sturridge back defending. Napoli pick it up again though, and the ball is angled forward to the edge of the penalty area. Lavezzi was very nearly onto that. His first touch just a little heavy, and Cahill was able to come across and clear it away, Graham Taylor.
Ivanovic there, let him get inside him. A little bit fortunate to get away with that. And certainly Napoli are starting very, very brightly, but tremendous support behind them.
Very much. We've talked about it being such an important game for the Chelsea manager, Andre Villas-Boas. Not exactly, Graham, the sort of place that you would come to rediscover your equilibrium, is it? It's a very... Well, you and I were at Millwall on Saturday, weren't we? And we said all of the, many of them stereotypical things about Chelsea, the fact that it's earthy, the people are very genuine and they support their football club. Well, this is Millwall times 20.
It is, yeah. You've got that atmosphere, there's no doubt about it, and they've been right behind their team. In their warming up and everything, the noise that they were making, the support they were giving them.
Yeah, formidable home record as well in Europe, unbeaten in their last 11 home matches in the European competitions, and Manchester City were beaten here in the autumn. Here's Ivanovic, who does well actually against Lavezzi, and with a little nudge of the shoulder wins the ball from him, and then it's pumped forward by Sturridge, who was looking for Mata with the run through the middle. It was just cut out by Cannavaro, but Chelsea again, first we've seen of them in an attacking sense. Mata, listen to the whistles. Ball with Bosingua on the left hand side, his cross into the area, too close to Morgan De Sanctis, and Napoli's 34-year-old goalkeeper, all in orange, takes a regulation catch just outside his 6-yard box, and Napoli come forward, and Gargano with a header. I think that might have been a handball in centre field. It was by Moreles. So a free kick to Napoli, which they take short, as the ball is tugged out again towards this left-hand side to Zuniga. De Sena, who was the first choice for Napoli in the autumn when Manchester City were here, the former Liverpool left-sided defender, but Zuniga playing tonight in that position. Now the ball played over the top by Campagnaro, but he's overhit that, and it will bounce through for a goal kick. Just my eye is caught by a little balloon which is floating even above our eye level, and we are very far back and very high up. Grim.
Always interesting to see a team, it is for me anyhow, playing with a back three. That used to be the Italian way many years ago. Everybody played that way, and it's something that's gone out of our game to a degree. It came into English football for a period of time, and just be very interesting just to see how they do operate that particular formation from a tactical point of view. You know, will the wing backs drop back in and sometime make 5 at the back? One knows. But it's very rare to see sides now playing with 3 centre-backs.
Well, it is, but the last game I was at, that happened there as well, because Tottenham played with the 3 central defenders at Stevenage on Sunday, and Harry Redknapp had said it's something he's been meaning to try. Well, Bosingwa just took his eye off the ball on the left-hand side and allowed it to run under his foot, so a throw-in to Napoli, and the ball is played long for Lavezzi through the middle. It bounces into the area. Cech had to come there, seemed to skid off the greasy surface, but he watched it and he just pushed it away, and he had to make that contact absolutely correctly, otherwise he would have taken down Lavezzi and it would have been a penalty.
I'll give Lavezzi credit there, because I've seen many forwards go over then, and you know, he didn't do that. In other words, he didn't cheat.
Yeah, Lavezzi on the left-hand side, but it's Ivanovic who plays it out for a throw and then belts the ball away towards the halfway line. And the ball's still on the pitch. Another one's been produced by the little bald boy down there on what is a wet night. But as I said to Mark Pugac before the game, not half as wet as it was yesterday evening when Chelsea and Villas-Boas arrived in a thunderstorm. Cross from Lavezzi into the penalty area, but it's over the top of Cavani, who is in there in the middle, but just over the top of him, and caught by Peter Cech, who launches the ball downfield and finds Drogba in an offside position, and they were unaware of that, Drogba and the Napoli defender. The two of them jumped for the ball even though the whistle had gone, and Campagnaro and Drogba have clashed heads, and immediately the medical people have been called onto the field, and certainly I think Campagnaro might have cut his head the way that they're reacting there, and Drogba has remained lying flat on his back.
Definitely. I mean, there was an immediate call on to the medical people to get onto the pitch straight away, and both of the players laid out as well, and I didn't quite see it, John, to tell you the truth. I was just looking elsewhere for a bit.
Yeah, I did see it. It was
clash.
Yeah, it was the two of them clearly hadn't heard the whistle, jumped for the ball, and a clash of heads. And well, Drogba is still on his back, and I think is now being lifted onto his feet. Yeah, he's okay, and Campagnaro has been moved as well off the field, and we'll see if we're going to see a bandage around the top of his head. I mean, we're miles away, as Jeff Boycott was saying. I don't know if you heard him on Test Match Special during the Test series. He kept saying we've got a crow's eye view here, and I think that's what we've got here too. So it's right away on the far side of the field, but Drogba is back on, and Napoli playing for the time being with 10 men. Drogba's still out there on that far side, so both sides with 10 men. And it is Sturridge who brings it forward into the penalty area, but the challenge comes in. Malouda into the box, but the challenge came in and whacked it out of play over on the left-hand side. Drogba is now back on the field. Campagnaro is still off there, still receiving treatment, and I think he has had a bandage put on his head. He has. Throw-in taken by Chelsea. On the left-hand side, no, the referee's not happy yet. He wants it taken again. The referee, by the way, the Spaniard Carlos Velasco Caballo, who was the referee when Villas-Boas' Porto won the Europa League in Dublin last season. So that's one potentially friendly face for the Chelsea manager. Throw in for Chelsea then. Here it comes into the penalty area, nodded and headed away by Gargano, and then cleared out for a Napoli throw just about level with the edge of their own penalty area. Yeah, the Spanish referee, clearly seen as one of the rising stars in the refereeing world. He also took charge of one of the Champions League semi-finals last season, the first leg between Manchester United and Schalke, as well as that European final in Dublin. Napoli 0, Chelsea 0. 7 minutes played here in the Stadio San Paolo, in this chaotic city, as Napoli go for a long ball over the top of the Chelsea defence, but Cavani in an offside position and Chelsea with a free kick.
It's interesting so far, John, in its early stages, for an Italian side, they do like to get the ball forward early. It's unusual to see that in the Italian team.
Yeah, recognised as quite a counter-attacking team, Napoli, with the pace that they've got with Hamsik, who hasn't really been able to get into the game so far, over on the right-hand side of the attack. Cavani through the middle, he's the big man with the long hair, the Uruguayan, and then little Lavezzi on this side of the field, who I think is the least heralded of the three, the whistles, because Campagnaro is now trying to get back onto the field, and the in inverted commas highly rated referee hasn't spotted the signal that they want him back onto the field, so Napoli's still playing with 10 men. Chelsea with it. Ball passes the halfway line. Sturridge now angles the ball out towards this right-hand side. Ivanovic just catches up with it. One touch, then crosses straight into the back of Zuniga, the defender. It bounces to Lavezzi, and Lavezzi now with his head down plays a little cross-field ball. That's a nice ball as well. Gökhan Inler, the Swiss international captain, cuts back onto his right foot. Now looks for the ball over the top to Cavani. He's onside. Where was the defence? Shoots and checks, saves it with his right leg. Well, Ivanovic was caught upfield, of course, and there were gaping gaps. Great save by Cech, really important save, let's put it that way. And then Zuniga loses possession, and Chelsea will play it away from the back. And now Chelsea might look to counter-attack against the counter-attackers. But now Bosingwa is pulled up there, and I think he might have done his hamstring. Bosingwa with Ashley Cole out of the game, not able to start the match, and Bosingwa has gone down clutching his left hamstring, and I will be very surprised if he's able to continue. We'll have more on that when we come back from Barnsley Birmingham, a goal. Alistair Yeomans.
Well, Birmingham have scored. Marlon King got to the byline, cut it back for Chris Burke, and his curling shot went in off the unfortunate Barnsley captain Rob Edwards. I think it will go down as an own goal, John. Barnsley 0, Birmingham City 1, 8 minutes gone.
And the thing is, for Chelsea this evening, Ryan Bertrand, the young left-back, is not named on the substitutes bench, but Ashley Cole is there. So, question is, Graham, what have we had? 10 minutes. If Bosingwa is not able to continue, do they risk Ashley Cole's fitness?
Well, why put him on the bench? I mean, if it's that kind of risk that you can't afford to put him on the pitch, he shouldn't be on the bench. And I can't see any other option.
The other Chelsea subs tonight, the outfield players, Essien, Lampard we've mentioned, Torres, Mikel and Kalou. No place for Romeu either, which was one of the things that jumped out at me. Well, Bosingwa is still receiving treatment in the centre circle. There's absolutely no way you would think that he's able to continue in the game. Seems clearly a hamstring pull. And we're looking at the electronic board, and it is Ashley Cole, isn't it? Yeah, it is Ashley Cole who's appeared from the dugout. He's got his shirt off. Villas Boas is issuing with very urgent instructions. I think Ashley Cole knows exactly what he needs to do in this sort of situation.
I'm sure.
But he gets a pat on the backside, and Ashley Cole will come on in the 12th minute.
Yeah, and without being disrespectful to Bosingwa, this may not be a bad substitution, to tell you the truth.
So Bosingwa off and Ashley Cole on in the in what is now the time-honoured way, Graham. We were allowed to watch only the first 15 minutes of training last night, and it became apparent very quickly that John Terry wasn't going to be involved. He was only involved for a few moments, really. But Ashley Cole was certainly involved in the whole of the 15 minutes that I saw, and didn't seem to be taking any hurt. Well, he's on the field now, so we'll find out in due course how much of a risk, if any, it is to involve him from this early in the game. Campagnaro with the bandage on his head. The ball had already gone out of play before he cleared it, so it's a throw into Napoli halfway inside their own half. So this is BBC5 Live in the Champions League here in Napoli, where I think the rain has just stopped for the time being. Napoli 0, Chelsea 0, and a foul on Inler and a free kick for Napoli, which is played to Aronica, the left-sided central defender, who gives it to Zuniga. Lavezzi, the pass was a little short to Lavezzi, and Ivanovic was able to reach it, and then Ramirez, heavy touch from him, and he's lost possession. It's played forward by Gargano, and now Lavezzi, and now through to Cavani, whose touch took him wide, and in any case he was in an offside position. If he'd been able to find the net, the goal would not have stood.
No. In an offside position certainly, but the way that the Chelsea defence really, I wouldn't say broke apart, but they were so easily sidestepped. I mean, at the present time, I go back to what I said before the kick-off, that the Cahill-Lewis partnership makes me very uneasy, because they've both been sidestepped easily. Cahill tried to play offside once when nobody else was looking to play it at all, so there seems to me to be a lack of understanding there.
They're nippy and sharp though, aren't they, Napoli, Graham? You must have obviously have picked up on that already, and there's a great understanding, certainly in the times that I've seen Napoli live, particularly between Lavezzi and Cavani. And as I mentioned, still Hamsik hasn't really been able to get into the game. Napoli 0, Chelsea 0, and now a goal in the Millwall-Middlesbrough game in the Championship. Alistair, Bruce Ball.
Goal for Middlesbrough, which I think will go to Marvin Emnes. I'm not sure how much he knew about it. A corner swung to the box. Reece Williams with a volley down into the ground. I think the last touch came off Emnes. You know what strikers are like. I'm sure he will claim it. Millwall 0, Middlesbrough 1.
By the way, the Blackpool-West Ham match starts at 8 o'clock as the ball's played through the middle for Chelsea. Matter on the chase, but Campagnaro is able to play it back to De Sanctis. Blackpool-West Ham, that's on 5 Live Sports Extra tonight. The commentary. Big game at the top end of the Championship. Chelsea coming down the left-hand side. 0-0 with Ashley Cole, who has a ball played over the top for him. It was over-hit. And just for a moment there, I thought Cole reacted, and I was wondering whether he had a problem, but he's running okay, running quite freely back to take up his position at left-back.
I'd like to see Mata get involved yet. I mean, I think he's a very good player and can be very influential, but at the present time, he's hardly had a touch of the ball.
Still the noise continues to swirl around this ground, and still those people who I mentioned right at the start of the game, the flag wavers, particularly in the end to our right, continue to wave their flags. They've clearly, Graham, mastered the art of waving your flag and watching the game at the same time. Throwing to Chelsea out on the left-hand side. Ashley Cole takes it back to a shaggy-haired Louise. Cahill available just in front of the penalty area, and he gives it to him. So Cahill now to Ivanovic on this side of the field, and Ivanovic goes for the long ball over the top, and it bounces through to De Sanctis. Should mention as well, by the way, you may have noticed this in the build-up to the game, but if you didn't, you won't know that Walter Mazzari, the Napoli coach, is banned from the touchline tonight. So he's in the stand, and it's his assistant who's down there in the coaching area, Nicola Frustalupi. So he is in charge of affairs on the side of the pitch. Here's Zuniga, plays the ball over the top to the edge of the area, taken down by Cahill, who chests it and then side-foots it out of play. Zuniga will take the throw, and he looks to get it back, intercepted by Lavezzi. Back heel from him. Zuniga now, cross, hits the chest of Cahill, loops up in the air, and Sturridge gives it away. Gargano, now back to Zuniga again. Zuniga in the yellow boots. Once again, back to Gargano, the Uruguay World Cup player. Lavezzi, I think, got his heels flicked by Mata. He did. Free kick to Napoli on the left-hand side, halfway inside the Chelsea half.
Lavezzi has certainly been a problem. He looks a very dangerous player. Whenever he gets possession, he's prepared to take people on. Looks quick and he's sharp, looks to play things early.
Cannavaro is up from the back for this set piece. Cavani is the one to watch for. Free kick is going to be taken by Lavezzi. The Napoli players in their pale blue shirts clustered towards the far side of the penalty area. Chelsea holding their line. Lavezzi plays it in, but straight at Louise, who volleys it away. And Gargano now plays it over the top, but an easy take for Petr Cech. Cech, a long delivery right down the middle of the field that will bounce through to goalkeeper De Sanctis, who missed it and bounced into Malouda. And if Malouda had gone down there, play continues. Malouda crosses, Sturridge chests it down, flicks it over the defender, and then in comes Gargano to whack it away towards the halfway line. Chelsea keep it. Ramirez now to Drogba, who went for goal. Instead he's actually passed it to Sturridge, who's in an offside position. Free kick, Napoli.
There's a strange movement there, because there's some complaint now to the referee. Is it about
Campagnaro? It is complaining,
isn't it? Yeah.
Is he suggesting that I'm wondering if he's suggesting that the Chelsea player fouled De Sanctis.
Yeah.
Well, however, he's made his point, the man in the bandaged head.
And the referee's just ignored him.
Yeah. 17 minutes played. Napoli 0, Chelsea 0. 5 Live. Ball over the top, and it will bounce through to Petr Cech. Important save from Cech with his legs early on in the game. But thus far, Chelsea have survived everything that Napoli have been able to throw at them in the early stages. Here's Ashley Cole, who is onto the field for the injured Bosingwa. Cole takes a challenge, goes down, but picks himself up and takes the throw. Back to the halfway line it goes. Mata. And then Mireles. David Luiz. He goes for a high ball towards Drogba, who takes on Cannavaro, but Cannavaro gets his head to it first. And Hamsik now with a touch on the halfway line. And then finds Lavezzi, who's appeared on the right-hand side. Lavezzi. Hamsik continues his run into the penalty area. Hamsik shoots from the angle. And Petr Cech got a touch on that to push it beyond the far post and behind for a corner.
Well, they broke through so easily. I'll have to say this, John. It's a long time. I can't remember seeing an Italian side play the ball forward so quickly and so early as Napoli doing. They caught Chelsea again there, got through the shot, and it was down to Petr Cech who got the saving.
Yeah, Maggio it was actually with the shot that was saved by Cech. Here is Hamsik, took the corner short, got it back, but then drove towards the dead ball line, and the cross went straight behind for a goal kick. So Napoli 0, Chelsea 0, but now a couple of saves for Cech. One from Cavani and one from the right-sided midfielder Maggio. And now the whistles.
There's something that David Luiz is making some sort of to the bench, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Although Villas-Boas is standing there unmoved. And now still the signal continues. Now is he pointing at Ashley Cole? Drogba. Or is it Drogba who might have a problem? Just keep an eye on Drogba, Graham, while I keep my eye on the ball. Here's Ivanovic. It hasn't resulted in any action, seemingly, from Villas-Boas on the edge of the coaching area. Ball's with Chelsea inside their own half. Here is Luiz, and the Brazilian just knocks it ahead of himself. His socks pulled up right over his knees, David Luiz. And now Ashley Cole on the left. Ball played towards Malouda. That was a heavy challenge that came in on him, but he rode it. Ramirez, central area, out to the right-hand side to Ivanovic. Ivanovic just crossed into the penalty area over the top of both Drogba and Malouda, who were in there. Campagnaro headed it away unchallenged. And a goal at Barnsley, Alistair Yeomans.
And an equaliser for Barnsley after 21 minutes, and it was a good goal as well. Wiseman getting to the byline, cutting it back. Craig Davis, a crisp, clear shot for his 10th goal of the season. It's Barnsley 1, Birmingham 1.
If it was a problem with Drogba, Graham, seems to be okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Ball played by Ivanovic towards Drogba, and then it bounces off him. Sturridge is able to take it on, but Aronica just got the touch there, and that meant that Napoli have the ball back again, and then Drogba body checks Aronica, and it's a free kick to Napoli just inside their own half. Past 20 minutes, Graham, what have you made of the first period of the game?
Well, as I've said on a number of occasions, Napoli really do get the ball forward. There goes another ball out to Lavezzi, who I think has been a very dangerous player.
And here's Maggio now on the right-hand side. Christian Maggio with a cross towards the back post, and Ivanovic knew that Hamsik was behind him and stooped and headed it behind for another corner.
They certainly are prepared to come forward, Napoli, very quickly, very early. And Chelsea just have to be wary of this. Having said that, I think Chelsea may get an opportunity or two at the other end, because they leave themselves a little bit open to the counter-attack.
Hamsik will take the corner. Here it goes into the 6-yard box. Cech with a punch, and he's punched it straight to Mata, who controlled it brilliantly on the edge of his own penalty area and played it away. And then Zuniga intercepts to knock it out for a throw to Chelsea halfway inside their own half. So Chelsea in no hurry to take this, coming into this game on a 4-game run without a victory. And of course the whole of the storm that has surrounded Andre Villas-Boas in his position. And he is signalling out there onto the field. Here's Ashley Cole in possession on the left-hand side for Chelsea. Malouda now. Malouda forward towards Mata, and then back behind Ashley Cole. And we're halfway through the first half here in Naples, and it's 0-0 on 5 Live. And here's Alan Green.
Luis flicks the ball forward. It's brought down well by Mata. A few yards outside the penalty area, trying to find Drogba with the pass. Headed away by Aronica, but Chelsea pick up possession again. In League 2, by the way, Northampton 0, Macclesfield 1. This is Chelsea's best spell. Cole on the attack, trying to play a 1-2 with Drogba. Cole gets to the return pass, finds Drogba. Drogba's low cross into the penalty area, intercepted by Inler, and Inler should be able to clear it, and does clear it up towards Cavani. But back into Chelsea's possession. Cole on the far side of the field. In to Mata. Morales and Ramirez sit deepest in this Chelsea midfield tonight. Then ahead of them, they've got Sturridge on the right, Mata in the middle, Maluda on the left, then Drogba largely up front on his own. But it's been an uncomfortable opening quarter for Chelsea. Cavani, one great chance, excellent save by Cech, and then Cavani moved too quickly onto Lavezzi's pass. Lavezzi's been the star of the show.
Definitely.
Player and a half.
Oh, definitely, yes. He's looked very, very good, very dangerous.
Well, they talk about the front three for Napoli, but for me, Lavezzi stands out. Oxford 0, Barnet 1, and MK Dons 1, Bury 1. Drogba doesn't find Maluda. The ball squirts out of play on the far side of the field, and it's a throw in to Napoli, who would not be flattered if they were in front. The longer Chelsea hold out, the better things are, of course. It's now a very cold evening here in Naples. The rain easing a little bit, and according to John Murray, not remotely as hard as it was last night. Thank heavens. Here's Campanaro, still wearing a bandage around his head after the clash of heads with Drogba. Campanaro's clearance ran straight to Cole. Cole back to Luis, and Luis midway inside his own half plays it back to Petr Cech. He's already made one excellent save and a couple of other good ones. Cech's clearance headed infield by Ivanovic, headed over the halfway line by Napoli. But this is a little untidy period of play. Cahill loves the ball forward, a push by Mata on the defender, and it's a free kick to the Italian side, which is played quickly to Inler. That's a lovely ball by the Swiss international to the far side of the field. And Maggio forward, level over the edge of the penalty area. Terrible cross, overhit, but Ivanovic obviously didn't get much of a shot. Heads it behind for a corner.
Yeah, he's back to play there. I thought he would have been aware that there was nobody immediately on him, but he's given the corner away,
which Lavezzi will take. Left arm high, that's the signal, played into the near post towards Cavani, but it's headed by the Uruguayan behind for a goal kick. He thinks it was the defender that headed it, but the referee's given a goal kick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he thinks, does it?
No.
The referee gives it.
Thank heavens.
Yeah.
Hey, 55 goals in 77 games for
Some
Napoli.
going, isn't it? I know.
That's not bad going, is it?
Well, that's excellent.
Cavani, but it's Lavezzi who catches the eye.
He has done so far, no doubt about that.
Stocky little figure, but very quick, and a little bit like Suarez, just impudent, running at players, committing them. Chelsea in possession with Drogba on now to Sturridge. Sturridge plays it in quickly towards Mata. Mistake by the defender. Mata scores, putting Chelsea in front. Error by the defender Cannavaro, and Mata capitalised against the run of play. Then who cares? Napoli 0, Chelsea 1, 27 minutes played.
Yeah, Cannavaro blaming the pitch, I think, for the little bobble there. Came up, bad mistake, put away by Mata so comfortably. You knew straight away he was going to score. 1-0 to Chelsea, somewhat fortunate, but these things happen. You must take their opportunities when they come along, and that was presented for Mata, and you could just see he was going to put the ball in the net. The Napoli defenders still talking about it. There's nothing they can do. 1-0 Chelsea.
He took it really well, Mata, exceptionally well. And we didn't see that coming, did we, Graham?
No, we didn't. He is saying, how much it bounced, and just looking at a replay, I have to be honest, he got a really, really terrible bounce.
Tough. There you go. We'll take it.
Yeah.
It is a long time since no English club appeared in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. 1996. And let's hope it doesn't happen again. Chelsea in front here, despite not playing that well in the opening quarter of the game. But what an incentive they've got now. Ball played from Ramirez to Sturridge. Plenty of Chelsea players forward in attacking position. Sturridge to the right of the Napoli penalty area, to Mata. Mata tries to get it back to Sturridge. Mata claims he's, goodness, has not got a problem here. Mata's got an injury now, and he's immediately signalling to the bench. I don't know what happened to him, but he's coming to the near touchline to receive treatment. Oh, let's hope that's not another injury that's going to force a Chelsea substitution. He's off the pitch at the moment, the goal scorer. I didn't see what happened there, Graham.
No, I couldn't catch. I think he seemed to just get a catch by one of the Napoli defenders. I don't know which one, because I think we just automatically moved on, and I can't quite see. They're looking at him at the moment. He's bent over at the present time.
You know, I don't mean this to be humorous, but if it was a flailing arm, it may have caught him in a very uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
It didn't catch him in the face. You can work it out for yourself, folks, if I'm right. But he's bent double at the moment, Juan Mata. Play continues. There's a goal at Barnsley for Alistair Yeomans.
And Birmingham are back in front, Alan. 26 minutes gone. Keith Fahey from 20 yards. Snapshot went in off the post. It's Barnsley 1, Birmingham 2.
Thank you, Alistair. We still don't know what's happened to Mata. It is a long way away from our very high, distant position. But it's 11 against 10 here. Napoli on the attack, but that's a poor ball played ahead of Cavani, and Napoli have really been rattled by the Chelsea goal.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing they expected. Hamsik there did well, and then his final ball was far too pacey, way ahead of Cavani.
By the way, it's the Chelsea doctor, the female doctor, who's out with Juan Mata at the moment. She's looking at his face, so maybe he was caught in the face. But we're just speculating because we don't know, and we do not have a monitor here, or at least not within easy eyesight. I think there's one to my left over 100 yards away. There's a picture that's blinking,
coming back on
as
now.
if that's of any help at all.
It's back on.
Mata's coming back on. That's a relief. Though Mikel's warming up as well. Goodness gracious. Remember, Chelsea have already lost a player, Brasingwa, with a hamstring injury after 10 minutes. So Ashley Cole, who was surprisingly left out of the starting 11, is on as substitute. Chelsea lead Napoli by a goal to nil. We played a half an hour here in Naples on 5Live. It's Morales looking to find Drogba, intercepted by Campagnaro and cleared upfield, but that didn't reach Lavezzi, not the way he wanted it, and it's carefully headed back by Ivanovic to check. And they're just not the same side, Napoli, since Chelsea have taken the lead.
No, it's seemed to have set them back a great deal, but now Chelsea can probably take advantage of this even more and get themselves further in front.
It's Michael Essien who's warming up, not Mikel. Napoli 0, Chelsea 1, 14 minutes to go to half-time. Well, in the same way last week, Graham, in Milan, I can assure you we were all reasonably confident on Arsenal's behalf, and we got it dreadfully wrong. We've all been terrified of the prospects for Chelsea tonight, and look how it's turning out at the moment. They lead 1-0. Sturridge looking for Drogba, but Campagnaro helps out his goalkeeper, just covers the run of Drogba, and it allowed De Sanctis to come out and belt it out of play for a throw-in. That allows Andre Villas-Boas to have a word with Daniel Sturridge, an instruction from the coach, and a throw-in for Chelsea. Ivanovic takes it midway inside the Napoli half, thrown down the left side. Aronica partly intercepts, but only at the concession of another throw-in for Chelsea. This one only half a dozen yards from the corner flag. Chelsea attacking the end to our right in the first half, in their all-black strip with white flashes. Napoli in sky blue shirts, white shorts, sky blue socks. Ivanovic with a throw into the penalty area, headed on, but I think it's going wide. No, Mata pulls it back into the side netting. Thought he was going to pull it back to Drogba.
Yeah, I thought he was going to keep it in play there. It was a little bit difficult to do so. There's no doubt about it as well. Since the goal, Chelsea have come on, whether that's confidence on their part or the fact that Napoli have just fallen away somewhat. I think it's really shook them, the goal.
Long may it continue. Campagnaro to the Napoli captain, Cannavaro, and now Ronica, the third of the central defenders. That's a good ball forward to Hamsik. He's been very quiet so far. Flick to the left to Zuniga, left of the Chelsea penalty area, teasing Ivanovic, but Ivanovic is too much noise for him, and it's cleared by Sturridge. Up to Drogba, and then Drogba, well, in trying to get away from the defender, ran the ball out of play. Throw into Napoli, thrown to Hamsik. Hasn't he been quiet?
Yeah.
Not this man though. Lavezzi running down the left for Napoli. Ivanovic is with him, and then Lavezzi went down as if he'd been clattered into by Ramirez, but he's okay. I'm positive that was a made-up injury.
I am as well, and the referee
by Lavezzi.
He's got straight up and run straight away.
Cavani back now to Inlander, flicks it towards the left side. Now Campagnaro again. Campagnaro over the halfway line. They've left just two defenders back at the moment, Napoli. Lots of players in attacking positions. That was a free kick though. Given away by Chelsea, about 35 yards from goal.
You know, Chelsea just have to be a bit careful of there. The goal certainly has upset Napoli, there's no doubt about that, but you know, you've got to keep your concentration all of the time, because this side are very much prepared to come at you. They have some good forward players.
Lavezzi's going to take this free kick. It's from the inside right channel, as I said, about 35 yards from goal. Here he comes, right-footed, low trajectory, headed up in the air by Inler. I don't think that was quite meant. Maggio challenging for the ball on the edge of the penalty, helped out by Cavani. And finally it's hooked away by Malouda at relative safety towards the halfway line. It's also quietened the crowd to a degree, the goal.
Yeah, and that always
totally
helps.
Quietened them, but they're a noisy lot here in southern Italy. Gargano playing the ball forward, then it's intercepted, and Chelsea can counter-attack here. Good work by Drogba, finding Sturridge. Matt is running through the middle. Sturridge is the ball right at the penalty area, into the penalty area now. Couple of step overs, need to pull it back. Doesn't pull it back successfully enough, but it's off a defender behind for a corner.
I think Mata may be a little bit disappointed there, because I think Sturridge, if he'd played it early, he did look up. I'm sure he saw him, and Mata was in a position where there was no Napoli players round about him at all.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Napoli 0, Chelsea 1. Mata's goal for the London side, and Mata to take this corner from the right, played in left footed. No, the referee seeing some quote antagonism a couple of yards from the goal line involving a Chelsea player standing in front of the goalkeeper, De Sanctis. I'm sure it's Sturridge. Here comes Mata again, left-footed corner, in swing, goalkeeper came, missed. Luiz with a header over the crossbar. Could have been 2-0.
Certainly. The De Sanctis then came and literally made a mess of it. It was half-hearted, I thought, for the goalkeeper to come. And Luiz got his header in over the bar. Could have been 2-0 to Chelsea. That.
I was expecting to acclaim the second Chelsea goal. Anyway, it's not. But we're happy with the scenario that we have at the moment. Napoli 0, Chelsea 1. 9 minutes to go to half-time here on 5 Live on the BBC. Campagnaro wearing that bandage around his head after the early clash of heads with Didier Drogba. Campagnaro obviously came off worse. The ball's gone out of play, and to the groans of the crowd, who thought it was going to be a Napoli throw-in, it's a Chelsea throw-in on the halfway line. Ashley Cole on a substitute for the injured Bosingwa. Throws back to Luiz, who plays it back to Cech, and Cech, left-footed clearance, just about reaching the halfway line. Malouda challenges for the ball, doesn't win it, but it's headed out of play by Campagnaro, and they just can't get any rhythm going at the moment, the Serie A side. A goal at Millwall, Alistair Rees-Ball.
Second goal for Middlesbrough, second goal for Marvin Emnes. Good one, this one. Beat one man outside the box and rifled the shot into the bottom corner. Those fans who have made the long journey tonight certainly enjoying it at the moment. Millwall 0, Middlesbrough 2.
There aren't that many Chelsea fans who've made it to southern Italy tonight. I mean, far fewer than I was expecting, but they're enjoying themselves as well. 8 minutes to half-time. Chelsea lead 1-0. The goal by Mata. Here's Cannavaro, the Napoli captain. Forward to Inler. Glorious ball by Inler towards Maggio. Played back just outside the penalty area. Hamsik can't bring it under control, and Chelsea should clear from the head of Cahill. But it's back now to Cavani. Left side. moving in field to Lavezzi onto his right foot, shoots, goal, 1-1. Brilliant from Lavezzi.
What an excellent goal. He dummied it. It looked as if he was going to get on the 1-2. He didn't. He let it come away, and then with power he's placed it past Petr Cech into the far corner. A first-class goal, a first-class finish from a very, very good player.
Well, he's been exceptional, the Argentine, so far. And just when it seemed that Chelsea had a grip in the game, Lavezzi has equalised. Napoli won, Chelsea won. 7 minutes left in the first half, and 4 red flares set alight at the end to our right, and I can count 3 flares set off, red flares to the left. That ain't supposed to happen.
It's not, no. But they are some crowd, aren't they? These but it was an excellent goal, Alan.
Now, Cavani's just been booked. I don't know why. Cavani's definitely been yellow carded.
He has.
I cannot begin to fathom what went on there, but there's no question that he's been booked. Or was it Lavezzi for the celebration? We are a long way off here. I thought the yellow card was to Cavani. Anyway, Campagnaro, by the way, has had to come off the pitch again. I think the referee perhaps unhappy with the bandage around the defender's head.
I'll tell you what, Alan, I got a close-up of it, and it is a very bloody mess. There's blood all over his forehead. They're having to get that sorted out now.
Well, he was a big doubt through injury for the game. Napoli won, Chelsea won, and the noise again around this Stadio San Paolo. But Chelsea on the attack here. Oh, good move. Ramirez shoots left-footed high over the crossbar. A more accomplished central midfield player would have scored.
Yeah, what a miss. What a miss. He did ever so well. It was played into him. He dummied in. Coming into the box in the middle of it. He's got into the box. He's got a straight. It's only the goalkeeper to beat. Fires it way over the bar.
I know he's had goals this season, 8 of them, Ramirez, but I just wanted in that situation Frank Lampard to be on the ball. Right, some more scorelines elsewhere. Aldershot 1, Southend 0. Northampton 1, Macclesfield 1. Scunthorpe 0, Walsall 1. And Mata, we think, has a problem with his right hand, possibly his fingers. Well, that would explain why he's bent double, you know.
Cahill cautioned. Is it? No, it's not Cahill.
It's Morelos.
Morelos
and he's suspended now for the second game.
Yeah.
As I was reading out the notes there about the other scorelines and about Mata, I just looked up to see the yellow card from Morelos. He's been booked before. He will miss the game at Stamford Bridge. Now, Chelsea, just dig in here. An important 5 minutes before half-time. Napoli won, Chelsea won. Inler to take the free kick for Napoli, just ahead of the centre circle. Driven towards the left side, towards Aronica, but headed carefully away, out of play, but it doesn't matter actually because Aronica was offside, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah. There's a little bit of movement from the free kicks there. They had worked a bit. Aronica got himself into an offside position, went too early, and then the ball was delivered, but was well offside.
It's eventful, and it's not one-sided the way it was in Milan. Napoli won, Chelsea won. Ball's out of play on this near side of the field. Throw into Napoli. Somebody needs to get a grip of Lavezzi. Somebody has to pick him up. Now, the 8 o'clock kickoff of the Championship was probably the biggie tonight. Blackpool and West Ham. Peter Slater.
West Ham have taken the lead. 28 minutes played. They deserve it as well. Mark Noble's free kick headed home powerfully at the far post by central defender James Tompkins, and the 1,000 or so West Ham fans immediately to my right, and I mean immediately to my right, are celebrating with great gusto. Blackpool 0, West Ham 1.
Thanks, Peter. 3 minutes to go to half-time here in the Champions League in Naples. Napoli won, Chelsea won. And there's another goal at Millwall. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Millwall have got one back. Guess who? Darius Henderson with his 17th of the season, a close range header. They've been poor in the first half. Millwall, they're back in the game. Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 2.
That's great work for the Napoli defender, and it's cleared away out of their penalty area after Sturridge threatened to break through. But here's Drogba trying to flick it towards Mata. Cleared once more by Napoli. Hamsik, he's been disappointing so far, but that's a good ball. To Gargano. Gargano plays it to the left side, hoping to pick up Cavani. Doesn't. Intercepted by Chelsea. Chelsea played quite well after a dodgy opening 20 minutes.
Shaky start, wasn't it, for them?
But okay now. Zuniga with the header to Cavani. Back to Oronica. 2 minutes left in the first half. Cahill heads the ball away as it's played towards the Chelsea penalty. And now Ivanovic was caught there by Gargano. And he's gone down, clutching his leg. Let's hope he's making it up. Oh, he is.
And I think he is.
You know, so that's very bad. He went down as if he was seriously injured. Yeah. And suddenly he's up and fine. And he's a tough cookie. Why does he have to do that? Free kick. Get on with it, Ivanovic. Check. Takes the free kick for Chelsea in the dying seconds of the first half here in Naples. Morales, who won't be playing in the second leg, flicks the ball to the left side to Ashley Cole. Back to Malouda. Malouda to Morales again. On to Cole, down the left side. Morales, good work by Chelsea. On to Malouda. Malouda tackled though by Cavagnaro, whose bandage must be better now, and no doubt they'll do it properly at half time. Putting the ball out of play. Throw into Chelsea. Well worked by Chelsea too. Here's the Chelsea goal scorer, Mata, playing it from left to right to Ivanovic. Lots of Chelsea players attacking Napoli. Sturridge down the right side. Could have crossed left-footed first time. Does cross the second time left-footed, and is headed down by Campagnaro under pressure from Drogba. And immediately clutches the bandage. That must be a bad head injury for the defender. Oh, Ramirez caught in possession. Lavezzi sprinting forward and pulled over by Ramirez. Free kick to Napoli. About midway inside the Chelsea half. We're in the final minute of the first half, but we've had a couple of stoppages, so at least a couple of minutes, you would think, to be added on. Free kick to Napoli. And up front defence, Cannavaro and Oronica. So it's two at the back three. We're actually going to have 3 additional minutes here at the end of the first half. Free kick taken by Lavezzi to Inler. Inler's shot over the crossbar, watched all the way by Cech, who knew it was not on target. Do we look upon this as a good first half for Chelsea? I mean, the away goal is important.
Yes, it is. It's very important. It's just that I think obviously Napoli, with their equaliser, have been lifted again. And I think Chelsea have got to concentrate all of the time. At times, you know, I just feel that they lose concentration, lose position. I know it's a strange thing to say when you're talking about players at this level, but I think they have done that now and again, and that they could pay for it.
Ball's hit out of play by Ramirez. Throw into Napoli, which will be taken by Zuniga. I didn't know what was going on there. The ball was on the pitch. Zuniga had a ball in his hand, so you can't play with two of them. One had to be thrown away. Finally, the throw-in is taken. And it goes to Campagnaro down the right side. We'll go to Blackpool in a moment, but Napoli on the attack at the moment. Campagnaro running forward towards the Chelsea penalty area. Peter Slater standing by. Just to wait a moment, Peter. Inler crosses into the penalty area. Cavani's there! It's 2-1 to Napoli! It was only a half chance on the far post, but it was brilliantly taken by Cavani! And from being a goal down, the Italian side are in front. Napoli 2, Chelsea 1.
I'll give you that. If we look at the goal, I look at it from Chelsea's point of view. Disgraceful defending. Went completely to sleep. A ball coming across. Gary Cahill literally looked at it. Well, I don't know what he did, but at the end of the day, they lost their concentration. Ivanovic as well, they just left the ball. And all that Cavani did was nip in between them and head it into the net.
And this stadium is alight. What news of Blackpool? Peter Slater.
Good news to the east side of London, if not the west side. West Ham 2 goals in 4 minutes. Jack Collison to Nicky Maynard, who scored his first goal for his new club from close range. It's Blackpool 0, West Ham 2.
Thank you, Peter. It was going well for Chelsea. No longer. Napoli 2, Chelsea 1, and we've still got a minute and a half of added time. Not a minute and a half, sorry. It's about 30 seconds of added time at the end of the first half. Louise over the halfway line. Flicks it towards Cole and headed back to Cole, and And spark-crackers go off now, and more flares. Balls out of play on the far side of the field. Gestures being made towards the Chelsea fans by the Napoli fans, and they're not friendly. I'd say it is an intimidating atmosphere, without question. And the second half, with Napoli in front, might not be that easy for Andre Villas-Boas's team. Here's Ramirez to Ivanovic. Ivanovic sprinting over the halfway line. Not long left in the first half. Ivanovic is still going. He was tripped. He's into the penalty here. Shoots. Blocked by the defender. Could have rebounded anywhere. Rebounds to Napoli's safety. And there's the half-time whistle.
And what a way to end this half. I mean, everything has almost happened in it. Injuries, goals, offsides, the lot. I found it, you can't really take your eyes off the pitch. Yes, the quality of the football hasn't been brilliant all of the time, but it's been one of those games where if you take your eyes off the pitch, something happens.
Intense drama, isn't it? Intense drama.
Yeah. But I am disappointed with that second goal.
Campagnaro is going to need further treatment if he's going to be able to resume a place in the Napoli side for the second half. Half-time here in the Stadio San Paolo. Napoli 2, Chelsea 1.
Wow, Graham, that was a fantastic watch. I know Chelsea will be frustrated, but the Napoli defence looks so porous, doesn't it? I mean, Chelsea should have got 3 there, shouldn't they? Luis and Ramirez in particular.
Well, I think what's really surprised me about Napoli is how, as I've mentioned, as an Italian side, how quickly they want to get the ball forward, how much they move it, and yet at the back how open they are. I'm not quite seeing the Italian side play this way. It's made for a very open game, there's no doubt about that. And Chelsea have also come into it, because that second goal, if you look at when it's replayed, we haven't seen it there, but looking at Cahill and Ivanovic, they're just looking at one another, and Cavani just steps in and says, thank you very much, I'll put the ball in your net.
Yeah, Cahill struggling as it goes behind him, and as you say, Cavani gets in front of Ivanovic and I think puts it in with his shoulder or his chest.
Shoulder,
yeah, it looks like that, his shoulder or his chest. On the equaliser, Czech seemed to get there, Graham, but maybe does not have a strong enough left hand. What did you think?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't quite see that. We're way from it, Mark. You know, it's not as if we're close. So I have to say, I couldn't see whether he got his hand to it or not. So I can't really help you on that.
Wow, what a half. I mean, just quickly, Graham, if this is still a good result for Chelsea. I know it's frustrating, but at the moment with this away goal, if they don't concede another goal, this is still a good result for them.
Well, that's the thing. The away goal is vital, but they don't want to be conceding it. And I have to say this, though, Mark, I can see more goals in this game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Grab a half-time cappuccino, whatever it is there, an espresso probably. It's
something to warm us up.
It is, and I know it's one of the Italian cities when it comes to coffee. Graham, what a first half. That was absolutely electrifying. Chelsea 1-0 up, 2-1 down, but with that away goal. Right, we go from Naples to Oakwell. And
the coffee's good here, you know.
Yeah, I know. And very good pies at Oakwell. I've experienced them many a time. Right, what's happening with you, Alistair Yeomans?
Half-time, Barnsley 1, Birmingham 2. Good game, different level, but good game as well. Much going on here. Birmingham ahead after just 8 minutes. Chris Burke's curling shot in off the unfortunate Barnsley captain, Rob Edwards. They were level after 90 minutes, Barnsley. David Cottrell, the Welsh international, making his debut for Barnsley, did well. Got to the byline, pulled it back for Craig Davis, who finished well. That was 1-1. Didn't last long, that parity. 26 minutes, Keith Fahey almost looked embarrassed that he had a snapshot from about 20 yards out. It went in off the post. Barnsley struck back again. Craig Davis hitting the bar with a long-range shot. A decent game. Off for a pie and a coffee. Barnsley 1, Birmingham 2.
And it'll be just as good in Yorkshire as it is in Italy. 3 goals at Oakwell, 3 at the Den as well, Ali Bruce Ball.
Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 2 is the half-time score. Millwall pretty poor in the first half, actually, but they got back into the game with Darius Henderson's header just before half-time. Other than that, it was pretty much all Middlesbrough. They could have scored 4 goals in the first 5 minutes. That is no exaggeration. David Ford made 2 excellent saves from Jutkovic. Emnes somehow headed over from just 2 yards out, but he soon got the shooting boots on. He's got both goals. The first diverting Rhys Williams' volley in from close range. The second was an excellent finish, rifling in a shot shot from the edge of the box. I've got to say I'm actually quite pleased Millwall are back in the game. There's a lady sitting quite close to me who was getting rather irate with events in the first half, using some rather fruity language. You can tell I'm dropping my voice a little bit. She's still sitting there. I was just getting a little bit concerned she might turn her ire on me. So Millwall's goal was a good thing, but at half-time Middlesbrough lead. Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 2.
And an 8 o'clock start at Bloomfield Road. Peter Slater, West Ham doing well.
They are. I've got about 2,000 East Londoners immediately to my right, and they're delighted. 2-0 up West Ham at the moment. We've got 7 minutes to half-time. Completely in control, really. Mark Noble took a free kick, 28 minutes. James Tompkins headed in powerfully. 4 minutes later, Jack Collison set up Nicky Maynard, who scored from close range. But the most surprising thing for me has been the lack of chances for Blackpool. They're not their usual flowing south. Matt Phillips had a free kick which threatened Robert Green very early on, and Ian Holloway's already brought on Kevin Phillips. West Ham on the way to the top of the table. They're leading 2-0 and they are completely in control.
Other half-times in Empower League 1, there are 3 games there. Charlton 0, Rochdale 0, so the leader's being held at the moment by Rochdale. Scunthorpe 0, Walsall 1, and MK Dons 1, Bury 1. And in League 2, Aldershot 1, Southend 0, Gillingham 0, Rotherham 0, Swindon 0, Shrewsbury 1, Cheltenham 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Crewe 0, Accrington 0, Northampton 2, Macclesfield 1, and Oxford 1, Barnet 1, Blue Square Bet half-times, Barrow 0, Luton 0, Fleetwood 4, Ebbsfleet 1, it's Tamworth 0, Newport 1, Bath 0, Hayes 1, Kettering 0, Forest Green 2, Kidderminster 0, Wrexham 1. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, 1 game at Tannadice, Dundee United 0, Kilmarnock 0. In the First Division in Scotland, it's Falkirk 1, Dundee 0 at half-time, Partick Thistle 0, Ayr 1, and Hamilton 1, Wraith 0. Second Division, Brecon 0, Stenhousemuir 0, East Fife 1, Dumbarton 0, and Stirling Albion 1, Cowdenbeath 0. And Third Division, Queen's Park 1, Berwick Rangers 1, and Clyde 1, Elgin City 0. It's 8:40, 2-1 to Napoli in Italy at half-time. And quite a first 45 minutes it was as well here on 5 Live Sport. News time now with Kate Williams.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Tesco is calling on the government to drop the compulsory element of its work experience scheme following accusations that it exploits young people. The supermarket says it will now offer those on job centre placements a choice to continue accepting benefits or be paid by Tesco with the guarantee of a job at the end. Downing Street says it welcomes the offer. Mark Dunk is from the Right to Work campaign.
If Tesco's, the biggest retailer in the country, can accept the principle that people should be paid for a day's work, then I think it's just completely ridiculous to say that the government shouldn't accept that too. I think it would be completely wrong for the government to continue encouraging and compelling, even on some of these programmes, young people to work for nothing.
Political leaders across Europe have welcomed a €130 billion deal on a second bailout for Greece. The country now faces years of austerity and external monitors will have to keep an eye on its economic management. Activists in the Syrian city of Homs say at least 12 people have been killed by government forces in the latest bombardment. The Red Cross is urging both sides to agree to a 2-hour daily ceasefire so they can help injured civilians and recover bodies from places like Homs. Our correspondent Jim Muir is monitoring events from Beirut.
People who've been in there say there are thousands of civilians still trapped there, and getting in and out now is extremely dangerous. It is besieged. People have lost their lives just trying to get bread from outside in. Conditions there must be appalling, apart from the really heavy pounding that's going on. It's been snowing in Homs, and there's no fuel for heaters, and there's no electricity. So how people are surviving there, it's obviously extremely grim.
Lib Dem activists are preparing an emergency motion for their spring conference, calling for the party to work towards defeating the government's plans for the NHS in England. The motion claims the government has failed to convince the public and NHS staff of the merits of the bill. Adele has been named Best British Female Solo Artist at the Brit Awards. She's also performing at the event in her first UK performance since career-saving throat surgery last year. And workers at a museum in Norwich have foiled an attempt to steal the head of a rhino. The thieves paid to enter the museum yesterday afternoon but ran off when they were caught trying to remove the exhibit. On the roads, M62 westbound, 2 lanes are closed between 19 and 18 for Hayward and Sinister Island. The M6 southbound has a lane closed between 2 and 1 for the M69 and Rugby. The A49, that's closed southbound between the M62 junction 9 for Winwick and the A50. Finally, the A64, that's closed westbound in Moulton. Kate Williams, 5Live Travel.
When I was asked to present 5Live's Kicking Off show, which had an orchestra playing the most uplifting and motivational sports tunes, I imagined the nightmare that would be. Alan Green on trumpet, Eleanor Oldroyd on violin, and me on the triangle.
Colin Murray.
But thankfully, it's actual musicians. This week, 5Live's Kicking Off is teaming up with the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra to celebrate some of the best and most loved sporting music. What's the score? Friday from 7 on 5Live.
5Live Sport with Mark Pugac. The sports news tonight: England beat Pakistan by 4 wickets in the final one day in Dubai to complete a 4-0 series whitewash. Kevin Peterson's second successive century helped steer the tourists to victory. One-day skipper Alistair Cook has confirmed he'll stay on for the 2020 leg of the tour, but Stuart Broad will still be captain in that form of the game. Craig White says he'll step down as Rangers chairman once the club's been restructured and comes out of administration. Earlier it was revealed that he used money borrowed from the ticketing agency Ticketus to complete his takeover at Ibrox. Chelsea captain John Terry's been ruled out with a knee injury for 6 to 8 weeks. UEFA have opened disciplinary proceedings against Porto for improper conduct of supporters during the Europa League tie against Manchester City last week. Tom Palm has been dropped by England for their Six Nations game with Wales at Twickenham this weekend. The lock forward's been released to play for his club, as has Jordan Turner-Hall and Mike Brown. It means the Leicester trio of Jeff Parling, Toby Flood and Manu Tuilangi are all likely to be included in England's squad for Saturday. And major changes to controversial rules governing jockeys and their use of whips during races are to be brought in on Thursday by the British Horse Racing Authority. They're aimed at ending a long-running dispute over the issue before next month's showpiece Cheltenham Festival. 8:45. Let's have a word with Karen Pickering, who's at the Olympic Aquatic Centre in London, where Monique Gladding has been taking part in the final of the women's 10-metre platform event at the Diving World Cup. Hello, Karen. How's she been getting on?
Hi, well, Gladding was the first of the British team to make an individual final here and is hoping to impress selectors enough to make one of the 2 Olympic spots available to Britain in this event hers. A mistake on her penultimate dive dropped her into 12th and last place, but Monique, who just 12 months ago was lucky to survive hitting her head on the platform, bounced back and produced her best score in the last round to finish 10th. The Chinese dominated, taking first and second.
Thank you very much, Karen. The WGC World Match Play Golf gets underway in Arizona tomorrow morning. Our correspondent Ian Carter is there for us. The world number 1 and defending champion Luke Donald plays Ernie Els in the opening match tomorrow, Ian. Although the top-ranked player draws the bottom-ranked player in the field, I would imagine that Donald feels this is a pretty tough draw.
Well, I'm sure he does, because Ernie Els has a stellar match play record. Think of all those victories at Wentworth in the old world match play that Ernie Els has enjoyed. Although in this particular tournament, he hasn't particularly succeeded, and he's not the player that he once was. He's only in this tournament because of 2 withdrawals, one through injury, Paul Casey, and because Phil Mickelson's not here. He's on a family holiday, and that's allowed Ernie Els to get in as the lowest ranked player here. Lowest plays top. Luke Donald, as you say, is the top seed. He's the world number 1, but that world number 1 status, Mark, is under some threat this week. If basically he has to reach the quarterfinals to be absolutely certain of remaining world number 1, Luke Donald, because victories for either Rory McIlroy or Lee Westwood could see them go to the top of the rankings.
And you've been talking to Lee Westwood today.
Yes, I have. He was in good form. He's playing Nicholas Colsaerts of Belgium tomorrow. He's a bit like Ernie Els. He's never enjoyed the greatest of success here at the World Match Play, but he had plenty on his mind when he came to talk to us. And of course, he was here fresh from an appointment with the Queen to receive his OBE.
I really enjoyed it. It was nice to meet the Queen, go through the whole process. It was a very sort of traditional ceremony, and it was nice to share it with my wife and kids and mum and dad.
It must give you a great deal of satisfaction because of what it means in terms of what you've achieved in your career.
Yeah, I've had a pretty long career now. You know, this is my 19th year on tour and it's been successful. You know, 37 or 8 odd wins, 7 Ryder Cups, so I'm still only 38 years old. I was delighted that I got the OBE as recognition of the longevity, I guess.
back into golf mode. We're heading into another phase of the season in many respects. Sort of phase one was that Middle East period. What was your assessment at the end of that?
Yeah, I was really pleased with it. Generally I don't start off years too quickly. Last few years I've missed a cut and underperformed really, but this time around I finished 17th, I think 12th and 2nd. I've probably won Dubai, given a few breaks on the greens in the last round, and overall when I sat down Monday, Tuesday after finishing those 3 weeks, I was pleased with the start to the year.
That's Lee Westwood. Ian, what about Tiger Woods? You've been hearing from him as well.
Yes, it was interesting to hear from him up against Gonzalo Fernandez Castaño of Spain, and yesterday the Spaniard was saying, well, Tiger Woods, he's not necessarily at his best and he is beatable, and that was put to Tiger Woods today, and he came back with a typical Woods retort. He said, I'm exactly the same as him. I believe he is beatable. As ever, very, very confident, but one of the things that he was stressing is that in this tournament, and we've seen it over the years, so many shock results are possible, over 18 holes, really any player can win any of the matches, and for me tomorrow is the most exciting day of golf that you have outside the majors, because everyone's up against each other, the top players in the world, and we'll have all those kind of shocks, no doubt about it.
You'll keep us right up to date in Arizona, Ian. Thank you very much. Quickly to Bloomfield Road, Peter Slater.
Well, it is half-time now, Mark, and Blackpool are back in it. They scored in the first minute of stoppage time. Kevin Phillips, who I mentioned, just come on as a substitute. Decent header with a long cross from the right. The West Ham defence really all at sea, half asleep I reckon. Before that, West Ham 2 goals in 4 minutes. Tompkins header, Maynard from close range. Kevin Phillips for Blackpool half-time. Blackpool 1, West Ham 2.
Fantastically entertaining and enjoyable first half in Naples. Back now to John Murray.
As the second half gets underway, Chelsea kicking off. No further substitutions at half-time. Napoli leading Chelsea by 2-1 after Chelsea took that 27th minute lead through Juan Mata, but only held it for a little over 10 minutes before Lavezzi and then Cavani scored the goals that make it 2-1 to the Neapolitans. Chelsea playing it out to Ashley Cole, who was the man who came on for Bosingwa early on in the game, but Cole slips and Napoli have got it back. So these are the sides in full. De Sanctis, the goalkeeper for Napoli, 3 central defenders, Campagnaro, Cannavaro and Aronica, and as Alan suggested, Campagnaro has had a proper bandage put on his head at half-time, the whole thing wrapped round his shaved head. Midfield is Maggio, Inler, Gargano and Zuniga, with Hamsik, Lavezzi and Cavani as the much lauded front three. Chelsea, Cech in goal, back four of Ivanovic, Cahill, Luiz and Cole the substitute. Midfield Morelos, Ramirez and Malouda, with Sturridge, Mata and Drogba. So second half, and here is Hamsik, the Slovak World Cup captain, in midfield, just moves away from Morelos, who will miss the second leg in 3 weeks' time, not 3 weeks until it's played, in the way that these games are staggered these days. Ball played forward for Napoli, but Luiz chested it down and Ashley Cole was fouled by Gargano. So 2-1 to Napoli. Graham Taylor's here with us in the Stadio San Paolo.
Well, if we get a similar half as we had in the first half, I certainly won't be grumbling. I wouldn't say that the quality of the football was magnificent, but it was an exciting game. There was always things happening at either end of the pitch as well. So we'll just have to say, I mean, something makes me think that Chelsea would be content to go home with this at 2-1. That away goal will be so important for them. I don't think they can afford to go with any more than that.
But I'm with you. You suggested at the end of the first half that may well be more goals in this game, and I don't think it would be a surprise to anyone watching. The game has been extremely watchable. If it wasn't, you could actually spend 90 minutes watching the crowd in this stadium. All sorts of unexpected things happen. Ashley Cole heading the ball away in his left back area, being put under pressure, and then he's fouled by Maggio. Just a little shove in the back and a free kick to Chelsea on the edge of their own penalty area. In fact, someone's lit a red flare in the stairwell to the left. That's not entirely unexpected, I must say. But did you see that little group in the upper tier on the far side who lit their sparklers at half-time? About 30 people lit sparklers for some reason and were waving them around as Cahill takes this free kick to Ivanovic. Those two culpable together for the conceding of the Napoli second goal that was sort of bundled in by Cavani as he stole his way in between them, chested in the net, I think, in the end.
Yeah, it looked like, and I saw the replay. Originally I thought he'd headed it in. I saw the replay and came off his shoulder, I think.
Ball forward for Veronica. Luis has got a touch there. Cech came out of his goal, and I think Luis was a little fortunate there that it fell to Cech. You know, the wrong sort of touch there, could have taken it past the Chelsea goalkeeper. But Napoli again, Gargano, the little Uruguayan, plays it to the left-hand side, and now into the area, and a clearance from Ivanovic after Zuniga got away from Sturridge, it was, who was coming back. Chelsea on the counter-attack here, and Ashley Cole has got space opening up in front of him, and now he's halfway inside the Napoli half. Rolls it to Malouda on the left-hand side, the surprise selection in the Chelsea midfield. Lampard only a substitute. And now Ivanovic, low to Mata on his left foot, goes for goal, takes a deflection, and it took it wickedly away from Morgan De Sanctis' goal, and behind for a corner, Chelsea corner from the right.
Well, the game has certainly started in the second half as it was in the first half, end to end, both sides looking dangerous and willing to go for goal.
Mata to take this corner, Cahill weaving around, Louise at the near post, here's the delivery, it goes a long way, took a deflection off a defender and was cleared by Hamsik, who was next to his post. It took the pace off it actually when it hit the defender, but it still went goalwards and Hamsik still had to clear. Now Malouda, curling ball into the penalty area, and it's headed away near the penalty spot, and Napoli will now look to break away, and it's with Gargano. And now Inla, and there's space on the left-hand side here if they can use it, Napoli. But Inla perhaps holds onto it too long. But in fact, he's still able to find Cavani, who shoots across goal, but straight at Cech, who's able to take it into his body.
Yeah, needed to pull that back. He was never going to score from there unless he was very, very fortunate.
5 minutes played in the second half, and now here come Chelsea again. End-to-end stuff at the moment. Mata, the Chelsea goal scorer, gave Chelsea the lead with his 9th goal of the season. The goals beginning to stack up for Mata. Ball in from Ashley Cole towards Drogba, who is strongly challenged by Cannavaro. Then it bounces away from Drogba and is cleared away out of play by Maggio for a throw near the halfway line.
Well, we've said it a few times here, but certainly as they come out the second half, they're just continuing as they left off the first half here.
Yeah, throw-in taken by Ashley Cole down the left. Drogba is on to it. Drogba teases a ball in the middle. Mata chests it back. Shot from Malouda, but it's saved by De Sanctis. Too close to him, really. Just fell to his left and was able to take the pace off it and then gather it. And a ball downfield from De Sanctis, aiming for Lavezzi, but David Luiz gets the more significant contact. Ramirez, who had that great chance in the first half, Ramirez, when he was clear through 15 yards out and shot into the net. And Chelsea again with Sturridge. Strong challenge comes in on him from Inla, and now it's Cavani, who's on the left wing at the moment, and then plays it up the left-hand side for Lavezzi, and across comes the covering challenge for Chelsea from Gary Cahill on his Champions League debut to just pop it out of play for a throw, which is now taken by Lavezzi back towards Zuniga, and then Napoli go back into their own half. The rain continues to fall here in Naples, around about 3/4 of the way down the left side of the boot of Italy. Extraordinary place. Here come Napoli with Hamsik back into his own half to Campagnaro, who rolls it back forward towards Hamsik. Hamsik now on his left foot. Challenge came in from Ashley Cole. Hamsik kept it and gave it back to Campagnaro again. Now the pass is far too heavy from him towards Maggio, who was on his heels, and it's out for a throw.
Way behind him.
So Chelsea take the throw. As the rain falls, if anyone's actually listening to us watching pictures, might be wondering why all the seats are empty at the front of the lower tier. It's because of that rain. They've all retreated underneath the cover of the top tier, and I would imagine they've taken up the positions in the gangways down there, and it'll be standing room only in amongst the red seats. Now Moreles to Mata, back to Moreles, looks up, rolls the ball out towards Malouda on the left hand side. Malouda now takes on, beats Maggio, gets the crossover, and it's cleared in the middle by Cannavaro, the captain, and he's able to find a teammate in the pale blue, Cavani, who was fouled by Ramirez, and a free kick to Napoli, 10-15 yards inside their own half.
It certainly is end to end, I mean, it isn't that one side is in charge of the game. As soon as one side loses the ball in the opposition's penalty area, that side then goes and loses the ball in the other opposition area. I don't mean to be sort of, it's not a great deal of quality football, but it's exciting.
Yes.
Both sides.
Interesting, as you say that, Graham, I'm just watching the Napoli assistant coach, Niccolò Frustalupi, who is in charge with the coach in the stand because of his suspension, just telling his players just to keep their composure. I think that was the signal. Here's Drogba crossing across the penalty area, and Zuniga went down and headed it away, comes back at him, and he's able to control it and play it away towards Lavezzi, who's strongly challenged by Ramirez, and now Mata will shoot low but straight at the Napoli goalkeeper from 25 yards.
Well, I thought Mata would have seen Sturridge on his right-hand side. I'm surprised he didn't, because he's a player of quality. He sees things in and around about him, and for him to take the shot, he had to score, really, to justify not playing Sturridge in.
Cavani now into the middle. Lavezzi, clear chance here. Lavezzi shoots wide. Chelsea escape. That's a big let-off. He should have scored his second goal of the game, Lavezzi.
Definitely. There'll be nobody more disappointed than him. And the way that he's played today, I just couldn't see him missing. What a great opportunity that was. Chelsea fortunate not to be 3-1 down.
Right, well, that trumps Ramirez's miss in the first half then, Graham. Northampton now 3-1 up on Macclesfield, getting to show a few signs of life. Northampton under A.D. Boothroyd, but Chelsea are very fortunate that it remains Napoli 2, Chelsea 1. And here is Ashley Cole, who clears the ball away, but Morales can't get it any further away in La Square. Cavani on his right foot, but shoots wide, dragged it wide really from just the edge of the D.
He didn't get hold of it then at all, but like we've said a number of occasions, we're seeing incidents at both ends of the pitch here now, and it does make for an exciting game.
Napoli 2, Chelsea 1. Villas-Boas stands in his belted raincoat on the edge of his coaching area. That thick hair of his will be soaking wet. Ball out of play on the far side, and Chelsea with the throw in the almost all black kit with the white trim that they're wearing here tonight in Naples. Mata gives it back to the right hand side to Ivanovic. Infield it comes towards Morales. Morales now forward towards Drogba, and Drogba passes it behind Ramirez, and so Cahill dives in there with a challenge on Lavezzi and takes him, and that is a yellow card for Gary Cahill.
Yeah, no choice for the referee, had to give that.
So free kick to Napoli. However, the danger was there for the counter-attack.
Oh, definitely. If he got past Cahill, then it was wide open.
Free kick then, and Cavani stands with his hands on his hips. He's shown what a danger he is with the way that he's played tonight, the way that he took his goal. And free kick for Napoli, which is taken on the halfway line by Aronica. Now the ball is cut out, the pass. Sturridge is able to ride the challenge that comes in on him and play it to Mata up the right hand side and continue his run, and Sturridge gets it back from Mata, checks back, gives it to Mata. Now back to Sturridge again on the right hand side. Sturridge on his left foot now, running towards the corner of the penalty area. 3 Napoli players around him. Sturridge gets it across with his right foot. Drogba actually took it away with his touch from Malouda on the edge of the area, might have let it go towards him. Ramirez now through the middle. Chelsea look as though they might have a sniff of a chance of another goal in their nostrils, but then in comes the challenge from Napoli to put it out of play.
At times, Sturridge looks very dangerous, doesn't he? Goes past people, loves being in with the ball. I just sometimes think that on occasion he needs to get his head up a little bit more and see what's round about him.
Yeah, that's certainly a criticism that you could make of him. Top scorer though for Chelsea this season with Frank Lampard in all competitions, 11 goals each. Throw in for Chelsea then, 10 yards back from the corner flag. Here it goes towards Drogba, wins the header, takes it right across the area, and then the shot from Mata, bouncing shot but close enough to De Sanctis for the Napoli goalkeeper to clutch it into his orange jersey. And a ball launched away downfield for Lavezzi, as I see MK Dons are 2-1 up now. Ball back towards the halfway line to Ramirez now to this left-hand side, to Malouda. Malouda, ball across the penalty area, cleared away by Cannavaro. And now Morelos back towards the edge of the penalty area. Mata turns, gives it to the right-hand side. Sturridge, very nearly got past Zuniga into the penalty area. And just a vital last touch from the Colombian was able to dispossess him. There's just a hint of a potential opening for Chelsea here.
Yeah, and Chelsea are doing quite well here. They've more control of the ball. Having said that, the pitch is the game is what we call open. You know, it is from end to end. There's a lot of room. Chelsea doing well. They're moving the ball about well.
Malouda with a cross from the left-hand side to the edge of the penalty area, controlled by Zuniga. And Ramirez now wins it back. Ramirez to Malouda. And Malouda now, Chelsea continuing to press Napoli here. 2-1 down in the game they are. But this is just about the best period of the game. Now the cross from the right-hand side. It's deep into the area. And the shot from an angle takes a deflection. Malouda it was. And it fell straight at Campagnaro, who was able to clear it. MK Dons 2-1 up on Berry, by the way. Ball out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. Just in front of their assistant coach, the Napoli assistant coach. I must say, didn't know a great deal about him before this game, but with his long hair and his designer stubble, he looks as though he could have stepped straight out of Hollywood or one of those famous Italian films from the past.
He's certainly been very active in that technical area.
He is, yeah. Might be just making a little pitch. Here is Chelsea defending. Luiz does well and wins it back strongly. That was excellent defending from the Brazilian, who has been criticised from a number of quarters. Here's Malouda now over the top towards Drogba, who takes it down. Drogba could be in here. The defender just got a touch, Aronica, to stab it away from him and behind for a corner to Chelsea.
I have to say Chelsea have looked much more threatening in the opening period of this second half there.
This is more the Chelsea that we're familiar with watching in the Champions League. Corner then played in, and the header is down and wide of the post. I think it was Gary Cahill who got it. Yep, it was. Who was in amongst a crowd of bodies, did well to get his head to it, but couldn't steer it goalwards. So 2-1 Napoli lead, and that has been a very good 10 minutes or so. We're into the last half hour of this first leg. The second leg, Stamford Bridge, you'll be able to hear on 5 Live. As I say, it's 3 weeks tomorrow until the second leg is played. By the way, in case you didn't know, it finished earlier. CSKA Moscow 1, Real Madrid 1 in the other Champions League game being played tonight in the last 16. This is 5 Live. On a wet night in Naples, as Hamsik now gives it to his left to Campagnaro, and now it's to Maggio, with Velas Boas doing his thing on the edge of the coaching area when the ball is right next to where he is on the field. And then Maggio concedes a throw-in, so Ashley Cole has got it halfway inside his own half. In the Championship, still Barnsley 1, Birmingham 2, Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 2, and Blackpool 0, West Ham 2. The game at Bloomfield Road is the 5 Live Sports Extra commentary match. Colin Hendry is part of the team there tonight, former Champions League player himself. Throw-in for Ashley Cole for Chelsea towards Drogba, and then in steps Inler, and it's played back towards Aronica, and on his left foot forward from him. Blackpool 1, West Ham 2 is the latest score at Bloomfield Road. Correction. Here's Raul Morelos to the right hand side to Ivanovic. Ivanovic now just allows it to fall into the path of Mata, who clips it left footed back across the halfway line to Ashley Cole. And now Cole up towards Sturridge, who's appeared on the left. Little roll of the foot over the ball from him to keep it. There's that little swagger from him that is quite a trademark of his play. Now Mata again. You can hear what this Chelsea possession is doing to the home supporters, but then it's given away by Ivanovic, and Napoli will play it. And that was a little reckless from Zuniga, but he's able to find Hamsik, who will pass it away from the back. Gargano now to Zuniga, and there's space for him down this left-hand side. Zuniga still going, and then the challenge comes in from Morelos. So Napoli go back towards the halfway line. It's Charlton 1, Rochdale 1, an equaliser for the League One leaders. Oxford 2, Barnet 1. Ball over the top for Napoli. Inler now pushing well forward. Inler crossing left-footed, but there's no one there at the back post for Napoli. Headed away rather carelessly by Cahill. Comes out to Lavezzi, whose shot hits the heels of Ivanovic and skews away for a corner.
Yeah, I think a little bit of misunderstanding there as well. Ivanovic in behind Cahill. Could have been an easy call to have let it go. Instead he let Cahill go up and didn't get a very good headed clearance at all.
Corner is taken short. Lavezzi's got it back, crosses right-footed, blocked by Morales, comes out, shot from distance from Gargano is straight into the chest of Petr Cech, who just had to adjust slightly to his right and hold it comfortably. It's also Swindon 0, Shrewsbury 1, and in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League, Dundee United now 2-0 up on Kilmarnock. Graham Taylor.
Yeah, I think the game itself is still holding everybody's interest here. Obviously from a home side point of view, they're 2-1 in the lead, but I think Chelsea have had more controlled possession of the ball in this half, probably more than in the first half as well, and they've looked threatening.
Sturridge now as Chelsea threaten once again, goes past his man, gets the cross into the near post, took a little deflection I think off Zuniga, but it took it closer to De Sanctis, who was able to catch it. Well, if we're right, Graham, and there is to be further goals in this first leg, clearly the next one will be a very big goal in this tie.
Certainly will be.
Here's Campagnaro, who has the ball on this side of the field. Campagnaro now forward from him. Cavani with the run. Luiz didn't make the challenge. Checks come out. Cavani gives it to Lavezzi, and Lavezzi makes it 3-1 to Napoli. Luiz, the finger is pointing at him, and Napoli take a 2-goal lead in the first leg. Napoli 3, Chelsea 1.
We talk about giving goals away. Luiz walking, he's looking at, nobody's looking at him, nobody's even talking to him at all. You've just given a third goal away. Lack of concentration, lack of thought, pure carelessness. I'm talking like a still a manager. But basically, it's so annoying to see that. Your side has done well, you've been the better side, and then complete carelessness at the back. It's 3-1 to Napoli.
Big problem now for Chelsea. Big problem in the tie, and the sort of scoreline for Andre Villas-Boas that he must have feared coming into this game in his darkest moments.
Well, certainly Chelsea have got to find a goal, another goal. They've got to get back even to a one-goal deficit.
But you said it, Graham, there about Luiz's defending for that goal. You said it when Cavani scored just before half-time, when the criticism was aimed at Ivanovic and Gary Cahill. No John Terry tonight, and bad mistakes at the back for the goals. Now there's been a sending off at Blackpool. Peter Slater.
Well, this is very significant, John. The man sent off is the West Ham goalkeeper Robert Green, who came out and absolutely clattered Roman Bednar. The drama increases because West Ham do not have a goalkeeper on the bench. It's still Blackpool 1, West Ham 2. We played 8 minutes of the second half. There'll be some reorganisation needs doing, but Robert Green sent off, and Blackpool do not have a substitute goalkeeper.
Chelsea have got to be careful now. Thanks, Peter. Chelsea have got to be really careful now, and after that spell, Graham, where they were the better side for 10-15 minutes, they were suddenly 3-1 down and concede another one, and you're not far off being in the same boat as Arsenal.
And you look what it's done to the crowd as well, isn't it? I mean, the crowd is fantastic. Get behind them, but they've got that third goal, and they really are in behind their side.
Napoli having to defend again. Ramirez to Ivanovic. Ivanovic back to Ramirez. Challenge comes in. Strong one from Gökhan Inler, the Swiss international. And now he's able to steer it forward towards Hamsik. Only Cavani ahead of him. Hamsik still keeping the ball under pressure from Ramirez. And Hamsik finding space inside his own half for Campagnaro, who rolls the pass forward to Lavezzi, who's on a hat-trick in this game. Lavezzi now on his left foot, dinks it, tried to play it over the top for Cavani, might have been offside, headed away by Cahill though. Comes out again for Napoli, and the ball played forward to Maggio, and Maggio isn't able to pull it back. He slipped as he tried to centre it, and it's a goal kick to Chelsea. So Napoli 3, Chelsea 1, halfway through the second half here in Naples. Graham Taylor, and then it'll be Alan Green through to the end of the first leg.
I just think Chelsea look so unsettled now after conceding that third goal. They're going to have to make sure that they don't collapse now.
And remember, Lavezzi should have completed his hat-trick.
Definitely.
Because he wasted the best chance of the game. Swindon 1, Shrewsbury 1, Aldershot 2, Southend 0. Vital 22 minutes now for Chelsea. I mean, a 2-goal deficit with an away goal in the bank is recoverable. They daren't lose 4-1, and 3-2 would feel an awful lot better. But Chelsea are beginning to be careless, having been the better side in the second half. Morelos hits it forward, accurately to Drogba. Malouda nearby. Drogba holds off 2 defenders, but not the third challenge. Inler takes the ball away. Inler tackled by Mata, beaten by Mata, barely tackled. The Neapolitan fans think they should have had a free kick, rightly not awarded. Morelos to Ivanovic. On the Sturridge on the far side of the field. Drogba waits for the cross. It's not coming his way just yet. Pass infield to Morelos again. Morelos runs forward and loses the ball. And it's not clear towards the dangerous Argentine Lavezzi, but ahead of him, and through it goes to Cech. Napoli 3, Chelsea 1 here on 5 Live on the BBC. Ramirez to the far side, and Sturridge trying to find Mata. That was a vital interception up by Inler, heading it out of play for a throw on the far side of the field.
Well, Chelsea are just coming back a little bit more at them. They certainly need to find at least that second goal.
2 changes for Chelsea. Lampard and Essien are coming on. Morelos comes off. And who's the other change? Who's that coming off? Is that Ashley Cole?
Can't see who that.
It's Malouda, sorry.
Malouda, yes. Yeah.
Malouda.
Yeah.
We do have a genuine excuse, folks. We are a long way away. The last time I was here, would you believe, was 22 years ago, the World Cup semi-final, and I remember how bad the viewing position was then. Throw in to Chelsea on the far side of the field, launched into the Napoli penalty area, headed clear. Essien picks it up. Then Lampard. Now Cole. Cole crosses towards Drogba. Drogba tries to take it in his chest, can't get the necessary control, and is cleared by Napoli. Do you think Napoli would be happy at 3-1?
Oh, I think they would be, yes. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They'll try and get a fourth one. And the way that the Chelsea defenders are playing, there's always a chance that they may be given one. That's been a tremendous disappointment. I know it's a new back four, I know that, but if you just rely, let's just say about the captain, John Terry, if you just rely on him for leadership all of the time and organises in back four, what do you do when he's absent?
Well, that's what I was saying before kick-off, Graham. You know, he's not the player that he was, but his leadership qualities are undeniable.
Definitely.
Napoli 3, Chelsea 1. By the way, the assistant coach for Napoli, Frusta Lupi, that's an ice cream lolly, isn't it? I mean, what a name. Heaven help him. But Napoli are doing really well here tonight, particularly in that they've been dominating the second half. But there's another mistake by Chelsea's defence. Ivanovic allowing the ball to run to Hamsik. Back it goes to Gargano. Gargano is a little player in midfield, but he's very influential. Playing it to the right side, and Campagnaro up from defence. I think he's looking for a throw-in or a corner kick. He gets the throw-in off Ashley Cole. Do not concede a fourth goal, Chelsea. Campagnaro, 10 yards from the corner flag. Throws it to Maggio. Back to Campagnaro. Campagnaro holding off Frank Lampard. On to Maggio again. Maggio with Ashley Cole snapping at his heels. Back to Campagnaro. On his left foot, swings the cross in. Luiz with the header away. Gargano heads it back in there. Surely an offside flag. Yes, against Lavezzi. Free kick to Chelsea.
Certainly, it's surprising as the goals have come, how it's really lifted the sides and put the side. I mean, in this half, Chelsea were the better side until they conceded that goal.
Sturridge on the far side of the field. Back to Ivanovic. And now Cahill. I'm sure we're going to see Ashley Cole push even further forward now as Chelsea seek a second goal. That'll help the concession of 3 goals. A bit easier to bear. Back it goes to Cech and Cahill. Cahill now running to the right of the centre circle and on to the far side, and Ivanovic back to Cahill into Michael Essien. Lampard's not properly involved yet in the game. Essien to Ivanovic. And Napoli are just standing up well to Chelsea at the moment, holding their positions, and in the end the ball is forced back into the Chelsea defence and back to goalkeeper check.
And they've dropped back, haven't they, to 5 at the back, Alan, there. You know, they're not pushing their wing back forward at all now.
And who would blame them? The header clear by Cannavaro, collected though by Ramirez. Ramirez tackled, ball breaks to Lampard. Lampard's cross-come shot goes wide of goal for a goal kick. It's a lot easier, you know, when you're working. You forget the cold. When John was commentating there, I was absolutely perishing. But now John's feeling it. He is. He's nodding his head. You know.
It is exceedingly cold.
No, Lavezzi's not going to get a hat-trick because he's going to be substituted. And it's the Swiss midfield player, Jamali, who's coming on. Well, a standing ovation for Lavezzi. He has
very well. Played very, very well. First time I've really had a close look at him, and I think he's impressed me. His performance today has been very good.
Well, that just stiffens things up again for the Serie A side, because they're always going to 5-4-1 now. But here's Ramirez breaking forward, playing at the struggle, low cross into the penalty area, the Sturridge, but too close to the goalkeeper, De Sanctis, who gathers.
Yes.
So at the moment, Hamsik is on his own up front. Dundee United 3, Kilmarnock 0 in the SPL. Don't forget the lines are open if you want to talk to Mark and to Graham later. 0500 909 693. We've got 16 minutes left of the regular 90. Napoli 3, Chelsea 1. Luiz dreadfully at fault for the third Italian goal. On to Essien, Lampard, back to Luiz again. They're happy to defend at the moment, Napoli. It's played down their right side, and Maggio lets the ball bounce a couple of times and run out of play. They won't care now. There's no further score.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised to see Lavezzi come off. You know, in terms of, I thought, is he now going to try to hold on?
Well, perhaps Cavani is a more natural, quote, lone striker.
Yeah.
He will be supported, as always, by Hamsik. Cavani tries to find Hamsik with the header, and then that looked like a foul on Jamali. Yes, it was, by Frank Lampard, and it's a free kick to Napoli. Indler, who's impressed me tonight, was going to take the free kick, but he leaves it. So he's got a Swiss adjutant alongside him. Both of them played against England, I remember. On the far side of the field now, after the free kick. Back to Gargano. Then Gargano ran into Ramirez. Ramirez takes the ball off and plays it forward to Sturridge. Sturridge much more in support of Drogba now, but selfishly trying to dribble his way past a couple of players, loses possession, and it's cleared into the Chelsea half. Good control by Cahill. Hits it back to Cech. Cech out of his penalty area to Luiz. 31 minutes gone in the second period. Napoli 3, Chelsea 1. Sturridge back to Luiz. Luiz to Lampard. Sturridge again. Lampard moves forward. Good ball in by Cole towards Lampard. Instant challenge by Cannavaro, the Napoli captain, and the ball squirts away to Hamsik. Hamsik trying to feed through to Cavani. This time Luiz does well, making the interception.
Good interception, that.
Ivanovic on the far side. To Mata. I think how well Chelsea played for about 15 minutes, you know. I almost expected them to score again, but they didn't. They conceded. And that's why Napoli have the 2-goal advantage at the moment, leading by 3-1. Luiz ahead of the centre circle and running forward, and then doesn't get the right pass and is behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, and it's Luiz's reaction to that. You know, this happens, but he then just walks away. He's now very gently jogging back, which he can afford to do because the goal kick hasn't been taken yet.
I wonder if he'd be better in midfield, you know.
Well, when he first came, it was such a surprise, the things he was doing and coming forward. But, you know, if you're a centre-back, the first thing that you've got to get right is how to defend properly.
Since they have come back into European football, Napoli have played 11 games here without defeat. Cavani, scorer of one of their goals tonight, plays it back to Maggio. Maggio to Indler. On to Cavani again. Hard for the right touchline. Simple pass infield to Hamsik, and now it's with Maggio again. Jamali got away from Lampard. Lampard brings him down, and it's a free kick.
Yeah, he did Frank Lampard there, didn't he? Brought it round the back of it through his legs, and in many respects, Lampard just couldn't get out of the way of him, but he certainly blocked him out.
Swindon 2, Shrewsbury 1. Keeping you right up to date with all the scores across the divisions back home. But this is the Champions League. It's the last 16, and with Arsenal almost certainly out, we don't want Chelsea heading that way. They trail here 3-1 in Naples. Inler to take the free kick for Napoli, slightly to the right of the Chelsea penalty area. There it goes, right-footed, deep toward the far post. Cannavaro with a header back, and then there must have been an infringement spotted by the referee, the Spanish referee, and it's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, he's right on the spot there. I think he was just levering himself up on the back of the Chelsea defender.
He's been good, the referee.
I think so.
Ivanovic hits it long, looking for Drogba. Neat little nudge there by Campagnaro on the Ivory Coast striker, and then Drogba almost wins the ball back. It's behind, and it's going to be a corner off Campagnaro. That was well done, Didier Drogba. We haven't had Torres, and we won't have Torres because Chelsea have used all 3 substitutes. Mata to take the corner from the left. Mata put Chelsea in front in the first half. Mata plays it in towards the near post. Knocked away by Napoli. Mata again. The cross is deeper this time toward Drogba. A scramble inside the penalty area. It's still not clear. Napoli finally slash it to safety. Away out of play on the far side of the field for a throw-in.
That's when you want the ball to drop for you. It didn't for Chelsea. But in those cases you need that little bit of good fortune when the ball is just bouncing all over the place. Does it drop for you? You can get your shot in.
Ramirez takes a throw-in. Suspiciously like a foul throw. Got away with it. Now he gets another chance. A little bit further inside the Napoli half. He's going to leave it this time for Ivanovic to take. Ivanovic throws it back to Essien. Napoli have got everybody back inside their own half. They're happy at 3-1. Lampard inside the centre circle. Tamata. Back to Lampard. And now it's run forward by Cahill. Cahill now approaching the penalty area. Plays it to Ivanovic. Ivanovic tries to cross it. It's blocked by the defender, and out of play it goes. Level with the edge of the Napoli penalty area. Throw into Chelsea. 10 minutes to go. Ivanovic stretches, looking to find Cahill with a throw. Didn't. Headed away by the defence, and they can counter-attack here, Napoli. They've got 3 players inside the Chelsea half. Have they got the control? It's Jamali. Centre of the Chelsea half now. That was intercepted by Lampard, but breaks to Cavani. Cavani, edge of the D, feeds it through. Here's a chance for another 4th goal. Played back. It's cleared off the line by Chelsea. Matthews should have made it 4-1.
Goodness me.
Ashley
Cole cleared it off the line. I think he was careless. I think he thought, well, I've just got to tap this over the line, instead of really getting some leather behind the ball, isn't it? And it's in. You're only about 3 yards off it. But credit to Ashley Cole.
Well, Goran Pandev is coming on for Napoli, and is it Hamzik's being taken off. A goal of Barnsley. Alistair Yeomans.
Barnsley 1, Birmingham 3. Much across the line to Burke. Burke a fine cross, and Nathan Redmond just on as a substitute. A beautiful finish. The points going to Birmingham. Barnsley 1, Birmingham 3.
Right, and 9 minutes to go here. Pandev comes on. They've had chances, haven't they?
They have, yes. Yeah.
Napoli to score further goals. 3-1's a very good scoreline for the Italian team, but it could have been much worse for Chelsea. And then you think Chelsea have had chances themselves, particularly in the second half. 8 minutes to go. It's played forward towards Pandev, headed away by Cahill. Falls to Jamali. Jamali back to Inler. Inler shoots from 35 yards, always wide of target, behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that wasn't going to cause any problems at all. But certainly one could argue that Napoli should be 4-1 up by now, because I think he just thought, well, I've just got to tap this over the line. And Ashley Cole, to be fair to him, he did his job. He was round there and got it off the line.
Well, had it gone 4-1, I think in much the same way we dismissed Arsenal's chances, I think Chelsea would have been out at 4-1. It's still 3-1, which is bad enough, but you can see a 2-0 scoreline at Stamford Bridge, or better for Chelsea. They'll still be without John Terry, remember. He's out for the next 2 months. He'll have a knee operation tomorrow. Ramirez comes forward, loses the ball far too casually, and then Essien powerfully wins it back. Ball breaks to Sturridge. Drogba's ahead of him. Sturridge keeps the ball, feeds it into Lampard. Lampard to Sturridge. Good return pass, not taken by Sturridge properly, and it should be cleared by Maggio, who should have scored the 4th goal for Napoli. Hit up towards Pandev on the halfway line. Pandev doesn't win it. Chelsea have it back. 7 minutes to go here on 5 Live. Essien almost on the centre spot. Away to the far side, and Ivanovic. Lampard is nearest Drogba at the moment. It's working its way slowly in that direction. Essien plays it to the right side. Brought under control. There's the cross in towards Lampard. Oh, if Lampard had allowed it to go, it might have reached Drogba.
Yeah, you saw
Drogba. It's clear.
Yeah, saw Drogba coming in unmarked behind him.
Cavani hits it to Pandev over the halfway line. That looked like a foul by Luis, but he's got away with it inside of play, and it's going to be a throw in to Napoli. Goal at Millwall. Alistair Bruce ball.
Should seal the points for Middlesbrough. Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 3. 19-year-old Curtis Main has just scored his first goal for the club. I think he'll remember it as well. Took a touch, edge of the box, past the defender, and absolutely smashed the left foot shot into the roof of the net. Millwall 1, Middlesbrough 3.
Napoli appear to be slowing things down here.
They do.
They want the final whistle at 3-1. Luis drills it upfield in the direction of Drogba. Cannavaro fouls Drogba. Free kick Chelsea. Thank you very much. It's about 40 yards from goal, but they can put Cahill forward, they can put Luis forward. It's tapped short though to Sturridge, and then the referee pulls them back, and Sturridge was clean through.
Yeah. Once again, he would say he didn't, he's not given the whistle to take it, and they're all round about it.
Can't complain. Though how we know whether he gave the whistle or not, it would be impossible with so much whistling going on in the stadium.
Yeah. But it's unlikely he would have done, Alan, with all the players round about the ball at that time.
Now, Drogba is setting this ball up for the free kick as if he's going to shoot a goal, which from that distance surely would be a waste of time. De Sanctis, well, he can have a clear view of this. No, he runs away from it, Drogba. It's left for Mata. Drogba joins the aerial threat inside the penalty area. Mata's left foot free kick in towards Drogba, headed down. Still in the danger area, thankfully. Then Sturridge crosses in. Drogba was there. Foot was high. The referee's given a free kick the other way. No, it doesn't. It wasn't for a free kick against Drogba for a foul challenge by Drogba. He was offside. And he's got a knock on the head again, Drogba. He got one in the first half as well.
Yeah. Got himself up.
Now he's complaining to the referee that the foot was high on him. Just get on with it, Didier. There's no time to waste here. A little over 4 minutes to go, plus added time. Free kick to Napoli, who lead Chelsea by 3-1. You're listening to 5 Live on the BBC. It's been such a dramatic evening here in southern Italy. De Sanctis takes the free kick, plays it to the left side to Aronica, and on it goes to Zuniga. Zuniga has been the fullback for most of the second half, but now he's on the attack. Ball played in. Pandev had a chance. Luis made a blocking challenge, put off Pandev, and his shot was high and wide.
Yes, he was. He came to him, Luis. I wondered at one stage, just looking at them, I just wondered if Luis was going to go across. I have to say this, that pairing, that centre-back pairing, is way short of what it should be for a top quality side, and Luis himself it's so, I can't understand some of his positioning.
Inler to Gargano onto the near side, and it's straight to Cavani, who's been much deeper over the last 10 minutes but still effective. Now it's play towards Maggio, but Maggio couldn't collect possession, and it's out of play for a throw. How many minutes to go? 3 and a bit, plus added time. Come on, Chelsea, get another away goal. Cole throws in towards Cech, who can't lift it, of course. Cech clears it upfield, headed on by Drogba towards Mata. Drogba picks it up again. There's been a goal at Blackpool. Peter Slater.
Remarkably, West Ham now lead Blackpool 3-1, having played the last 20 minutes with Henry Lansbury in goal after Robert Green was sent off. The goal scorer was Gary O'Neill. He's come on as a substitute. West Ham look like they're going top, and Blackpool haven't tested the substitute goalkeeper once. Blackpool 1, West Ham 3.
Get this, we're just hearing that Carlos Tevez has apologised for his recent conduct. We'll have more on this after the game here. I'd still tell him where to go. Too late, Carlos.
Recent conduct, it seems ages ago to me.
I know, honestly, unbelievable. Ball's out of play on the far side of the field. It's going to be a throw into Chelsea, and Chelsea aren't rushing to take it. They can't be happy with 3-1. Throw-in goes to Cahill. Now to Luiz, at fault for the third Napoli goal. To Lampard. Luiz, Lampard again on the halfway line. Back to Essien. Ivanovic is available down the right side. Essien picks him out. Ivanovic midway inside the Italian half. Crosses towards the edge of the penalty area. Cleared on the half volley by Cannavaro. And then the flag was up again against a Chelsea player. I'm not sure whether it was Lampard or Drogba, but it's a free kick to Napoli.
I think it was Drogba caught offside.
Do you think Drogba's justified his selection ahead of Torres?
Yeah, I have to say at the moment, whenever I've seen Torres play, I have been disappointed. I have to say that, Alan. And, you know, when you say do you justify, I think it's very difficult to find a place for Torres at the moment unless you're going to persist with him.
Well, he's left out tonight and hasn't made an appearance as substitute. His team's trailing 3-1. That's a great crossfield ball by Ivanovic to Sturridge. Sturridge with Mata to his left, but Sturridge loses the ball, and he wasn't fouled either. Jamali on the halfway line plays it to Gargano. Gargano left of the centre circle, just inside the Chelsea half. Onto Zuniga. We're inside the final minute of the 90. Gargano again, tackled on the far side by Ramirez. Ball breaks out of play. It'll be a throw into Napoli, and it's deep inside the Chelsea half, which is precisely where Napoli want it.
Yeah.
And Gargano is winding up the crowd, trying to get them to encourage their team to hold on to this 3-1 lead. They fancy their chances at Stamford Bridge. 3-1 up. We're almost into time added on, and it's another throw-in to Napoli in the far side of the field. Level with the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Chelsea should clear it now with Ivanovic. Forward it goes to Drogba. Drogba's under pressure. Drogba does well. Eludes two challenges. Drogba moving towards the halfway line. Plays it through towards Sturridge. It won't quite reach Sturridge, and it's hooked away by Maggio to safety. Out of play.
Good play by Drogba that. He was unfortunate not to get that long crossfield pass into Sturridge.
A measly 3 minutes is being added on here at the Stadio San Paolo. Mata. And here comes the whistling that I know Manchester City faced as they trailed here in the closing stages. Chelsea play the ball forward into the penalty area, cleared by Napoli, picked up by Mata. Mata switches it to the right. Lots of Chelsea players in attacking positions. Ivanovic's low cross headed away. Essien from the clearance. Essien's going to lose it here. No, he's helped out by Ashley Cole. Cole to Mata. Mata checks inside the challenge. Mata onto his left foot, swings the ball in, takes a tiny deflection. Cole's onside inside the penalty, pulls it back. Drogba with his back to goal, hooks it over the crossbar.
Yeah, didn't realise who was behind him neither. I think it's Sturridge. Ivanovic had come in as well, and as soon as he turned around and saw who was behind him, you know, put his head in his hands there, because he realised if he hadn't touched it, it would have gone through to either one of those two players, who would have a far better chance to have got Chelsea a second goal.
Here's a direct quote from Carlos Tevez. I wish to apologise sincerely and unreservedly to everybody I've let down and to whom my actions have caused offence, particularly any dogs that may be listening. A minute and a half of added time remaining. There'll be more on that Tevez story. The lines are open, remember, if you want to talk about all football related matters. 0500 909 693. Dominant on your mind, no doubt. Will this be this Chelsea performance here in southern Italy? Essien on to Sturridge. Matt is in a great position down the left side. Sturridge delayed. Keeps on holding the ball. Now he finds Mata. Mata forced to play it back to the halfway line. And Cole switches it from left to right towards Ivanovic. Cavani cuts it out. A minute of added time remaining. Then Ramirez challenges. Cavani clears it over the halfway line. Picked up by Cahill. Cahill into Luiz. Once more the whistles go up. Luiz right-footed forward. Drogba chested back. Lampard shoots straight at the goalkeeper.
They got down there, the keeper. De Sanctis got down very well to get hold of Frank Lampard's shot. I think that's about the first one that Lampard has had since he's been on the pitch.
The trouble with being this far from the pitch, Graham, is, you know, if the shot is hit with sufficient ferocity, you're never quite sure until you see where the ball ends up, how dangerous it is. Napoli come forward again though. Pandev waits if a cross is going to be played into him by Gargano. Gargano has been fouled and it's a free kick to Napoli. Seconds remaining here. Do not concede a fourth goal, Chelsea.
Ivanovic gave the free kick away then.
It's just to the left of the Chelsea penalty area as Napoli look at it, and you have to think this will be the last meaningful action in the game. Cavani's across there, but he won't take the free kick. I think he's just whispered to the taker precisely how he wants the ball played in. They're still wasting a little bit more time, Napoli. We've had more than our 3 added minutes. And in the penalty area, Campagnaro, bandage around his head, he's waiting furthest away. It's played in low, Cavani flicks it on, it's wide, and that is the final whistle. Celebrations in Naples. Well, Napoli 3, Chelsea 1.
And I definitely understand the celebrations. From a personal point of view, I don't think it's over yet. I really don't. I've seen the two sides play today. You can't argue with Napoli coming away with that win. I think they have edged this game. But back at Stamford Bridge, I still don't rule Chelsea out of going through.
The worry for me, Graham, is that there's such a good counter-attacking side, Napoli, that you could see them scoring at the Bridge, as they did at the Etihad.
The one thing, and this is where John Terry comes into it, having said all of that I don't think it's over yet. Defensively, Chelsea have just got to get better. They have been poor defensively today, and the two centre-backs, and I know Gary Cahill has only just joined, but that combination, I mean, playing alongside David Luiz must be very, very difficult, because I don't see where he fits in as a centre-back.
There is a multitude of Napoli scars being held up, and all around this stadium they're dancing up and down and they're singing. The banners are aloft as well. It's a great night for Napoli. They've beaten Chelsea by 3-1 and have a considerable advantage to take to Stamford Bridge for the second leg.